Hey yo, what's going on, viewers of the tube? If you don't know by now, my name is Tyler, and I'm the host of the channel that keeps you more on the edge of your seat than this poor soul stuck in a crane during a tornado.
Carla, there's a real tornado right there. Oh my God! If something happens, make sure everybody knows I love them, Carla. This is no joke. There's a real tornado right up there. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
You know how we twist and shout. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, yesterday, everyone was waiting for the announcement from Consensys, a big protocol in cooperation with two of the world's largest companies. Well, I made some predictions, and I was about as far off as could be. Only thing I got right was Microsoft, Chainlink, and UBT involved. Not Aztec Protocol, no Amazon. So what was announced? Well, Consensys announced the baseline protocol. The main contributors to this are Consensys, Microsoft, and Ernst Young. And according to the Consensys release, the baseline protocol is an open source initiative that combines advances in cryptography, messaging, and blockchain to deliver secure and private business processes at low cost via the public Ethereum mainnet. The protocol will enable confidential and complex collaboration between enterprises without leaving any sensitive data on-chain. So obviously the baseline protocol is a middleware, and it has to take a ton of tech from something that was already built by Ernst Young, the Nightfall protocol, which was open sourced last summer in May, which this CoinDesk article says Nightfall leverages a well-known technology in the crypto space known as zero knowledge proofs, ZKPs. ZKPs, put simply, allow for the sharing of information proofs between untrusted parties without revealing the information itself. So pulling out this infographic, the Ethereum mainnet, of which we all use, is the common frame of reference, the web that connects everything, private chains, business processes, and more. Why? Because it can't be tampered with. It is a public blockchain, and finality of transactions need to be done on a public chain, or you cannot trust them. But the catch-22 of public chains is enterprises do not want their information public. Do you think a business wants its competitor knowing how much they paid for products from a supplier? No, they do not. And if everything was directly put on Ethereum right now, the critical business information would be available to anyone and everyone. That is why enterprises have steered clear of public chains thus far. And here's where the baseline protocol comes in, a private middleware using zero knowledge proofs and made up of many microservices, which all form into one register contract, connecting all internal systems of records, enterprise resource planning, and customer relation management systems, meaning distributed and different management systems can be synchronized because the Ethereum mainnet is that common frame of reference. No data leakage guaranteed to your competitor who uses a different ERP system and tools. This will save enterprises hundreds of millions of dollars in wasted time, money, and manpower. Now what gets me excited is what John Wolpert had to say about the baseline protocol from the Consensys blog post. A lot of people think of blockchains as a place to record transactions, but what if we thought of the mainnet as middleware? This approach takes advantage of what the mainnet is good at while avoiding what it's not good at. Middleware, it was said so many times in the blog post, even by Johnny Boy, who considers themselves to be a serious middleware solution. Someone who was named as the first cryptocurrency token project on the technical steering committee for the baseline protocol. It's Chainlink. And this got me thinking about something Chainlink has been working on with the white paper released in September of last year. Mixicles. Now going through on how Mixicles work could take me all day, but Sergey the Flan Man explained it well. He said Mixicles work by separating out the different parts of a contract into multiple contracts, an on-chain part and an off-chain part, which are triggered by an oracle. This means that the payment outcomes are distinct from the contract outcomes, but the privacy of the off-chain part is used to help create the privacy for the entire contract. So you can't really tell what happened in the contract even though the contract completed on-chain. So I have a major feeling Mixicles are going to be a major component of baseline. As Sergey himself said, the privacy of the off-chain part, aka baseline and the microservices, is used to help create privacy of the entire contract, of which a Mixicle oracle handles. Then Chainlink released this blog post about Mixicles, titled Breaking Down Mixicles and their potential to unlock enterprise demand for DeFi applications on public blockchains. And going back to the Consensys blog post, the protocol will support tokenization and decentralized financial services on the mainnet in a way that doesn't reveal corporate assets or activities to unauthorized parties, and it leaves enterprise data safely in traditional systems. So they're calling Baseline a middleware, and Mixicles will absolutely be needed to make the entire contract lifecycle private. Thus, the recent price run of Chainlink is warranted. And when people say there isn't a crypto bull market, all I gotta say is you're watching the wrong tubers. But another project I recently called as a top pick of mine because of some DYOR is also on the technical steering committee, Unibright. And the fact that the blog post from Consensys references multiple times ERP and CRM systems makes me think UBT is highly involved too. Businesses spend hundreds of millions of dollars on ERP, CRM, and other internal systems of record. Failure to properly synchronize these systems between organizations causes considerable disruption and waste. Further down, it's hoped that the providers of ERP, CRM, and other enterprise systems will optimize their products for the protocol over time, but baselining works without requiring any modification to legacy systems. Well, UBT kindly put out a blog post and even a video to explain their involvement, and the blog post was titled The Baseline Protocol, Ethereum for Enterprises, with the help of Unibright. So, what are they doing? From the post, Unibright will contribute to the open source project behind Baseline by adding and reviewing code and specification. This will be coordinated alongside the work of Imminent, the integration task force under the roof of the EA, where Unibright already plays a leading role. Then they go into the product side. They say we will adapt the Unibright framework to be fully baseline compliant and offering our toolset to establish a complete business lifecycle on the baseline protocol. So the toolset is the Unibright framework, and it includes 4 things: the Unibright Workflow Designer, the Lifecycle Manager, the UB Connectors, and the UB Explorer. So first, the Workflow Designer will allow business process workflows to be designed visually in a private domain as smart contracts. And as we can see, there are UB Connectors, which bridge the processes to ERP or CRM systems, and or public or private blockchains. Once designed, the Unibright Contract Lifecycle Manager takes over, and this is where the visual design is generated as code and is deployed, maintained, and updated as smart contracts. And finally, there is the UB Explorer, and this is where the existing smart contracts are monitored and transactions and information flow is visualized. This is across private and public chains, including any off-chain systems. So this toolset will be available to all companies with their ERP and CRM systems, like SAP. And it's how their smart contracts and business processes could be designed and connected to the baseline protocol. But there's another piece mentioned in the Consensys post of which UBT could be involved with: tokenization. Remember this line, the protocol will support tokenization and decentralized financial services. Well, as we know, Microsoft is one of the leads of Baseline and is a leading member of the Token Taxonomy Initiative and the Token Taxonomy Framework. And according to this release, users of the TTF can create a new type of token from a set of reusable cross-industry components, including existing token definitions, creating a specification that includes all of the business ingredients for any implementation. The TTF enables businesses and developers to universally design the next generation of token-based business goods and services without requiring an understanding of industry jargon or coding. Now going to the TTF white paper, they show an example designer of what a token could look like with the design tool. And as we can see, figure 11, sample design tool. This isn't what they're using, it is just a sample. Well, UBT has something already built like this, the Unibright Workflow Designer, which we can see within it, different tokens and their interplay can be modeled visually. So that could mean something, as Microsoft's designer is just a sample, and now Unibright has a direct connection to them. Although, like always with Chico, there's more.
But wait! There's more!
As there were other names mentioned on the steering committee: AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and another crypto project, MakerDao. So first, let's talk about the significance of AMD, as having them on the team is weird and no intel. Why? Well, back in August of last year, AMD shocked the tech world with the release of their newest server, the EPYC 7742, which included the 7nm EPYC Rome CPU chip. And the stats are mind-boggling. Two AMD EPYC 7742s, which cost about $13,900, destroys $52,000 worth of Intel Xeon Platinum CPUs. AMD performance for enterprises is here. And before this enterprise announcement, they released their desktop 7nm Ryzen chips, and finished up the year with announcing 64-core Ryzen Threadripper 3990X CPU, the most powerful consumer CPU to date. And this has led to a surge in market share for AMD. According to this article, they gained 1.4 percentage points in the server category and gained the most share in the mobile category. The last time these numbers were this high? Back in 2013-2014. And the article states, it's possible that AMD has secured some major deals with HPC and data center customers that they will be unveiling in the coming months. That could definitely turn the tide for AMD, help them secure a double-digit market share against Intel's mammoth 95 market share as of now. So AMD providing the hardware for baseline? Well, let's watch this video from AMD explaining their blockchain solutions.
AMD is in a unique position to offer the leading-edge combination of CPU and GPU technologies to make blockchain transactions blazingly fast and to enhance security.
So yeah, but what about MakerDao? How are they involved? This one is the one that has me the most confused. Now, I know MakerDao and its algorithmic stablecoin DAI is the baseline tool for DeFi. It powers many of the things on the Ethereum mainnet. Well, MakerDao does have governance of their protocol fully under control and working as planned, or else DAI would be dead already. Could they be working on governance? Or could the stablecoin DAI be integrated into the tokenization and business processes, replacing USD in the baseline? Well, Unibright has a good blog post about Freeequity and liquidity with tokens, especially by enterprises. This concept UBT is using is a similar enterprise approach as Uniswap, with the creation of liquidity pools. From the post, liquidity pools are put on top of tokenized assets, consisting of two parts, one part containing a certain amount of the underlying token, the token pool, and the second containing a stable coin, backed by fiat currencies. Unibright, did you mean to say smart contracts, Ethereum, or basic attention token, as that is what DAI is collateral backed by? Cheers, I'll see you next time.